With me this morning are Assistant Circuit Attorneys Tanya Engelhardt and Adam Field. Tanya is our supervisor of our violent crime unit, and Adam Field is an attorney in our violent crime unit. Yesterday, Tanya and Adam concluded the trial of Daniel Riley, a 22-year-old unlicensed driver whose reckless disregard for the speed limits and traffic signs resulted in a crash last year that caused Janae Edmondson to lose both legs. I would like to thank Tanya and Adam and the rest of our team that worked on this case, including investigator Jerry Burke and Katie Small and Jessica Diaz in our Victim Services Unit. Our office would also like to thank the jurors for their service and the care they took in reaching their verdict of guilty. Most importantly, I want to thank Janae, her parents, James and Francine Edmondson, for their courage in coming back to the scene of this traumatic event in order to testify in this case. There are some crimes that resonate deeply with the community, and this is one of them. Watching Janae testify yesterday, one thing that will resonate always with me is the resilience of Janae and her family and her determination to not be defined by the horrific injuries she suffered as a result of Mr. Riley's recklessness. Our conviction of Daniel Riley sends a clear message to the community. We will prosecute those who choose to engage in reckless driving with no regard for the lives of others to the fullest extent of the law. Now, if you have any questions, we will answer them.
Can we just hear a reaction to the verdict? I know that a big part of the penalty phase you guys are asking for the jury to consider the maximum amount. What's the reaction to their suggestion?
We accept the judgment of the jurors. They obviously, were very attentive, considered the law very carefully, listened to the judge's instructions, and rendered the verdict that they believed was correct. So we accept their judgment and feel like justice was done in this case. Any other questions?
Can you talk a little bit more about the reckless driving and the extent that you want to prosecute people? I know that was also a big part of sending a message to people in St. Louis yesterday. We've seen continued reckless driving since this accident. What do you want to say to people that are potentially, dealing with this right now or future reckless drivers?
Well, it is I think as a community, it is an issue that we are struggling with. And from our office's perspective, we treat these types of crimes very seriously. And I think as demonstrated by our work on this case and the verdict that we obtained yesterday, we intend to prosecute crimes that result from reckless driving and result in senseless tragedy. We intend to prosecute those crimes to the fullest extent of the law.
This tragedy kind of became a catalyst for your predecessor, Kim Gardner, leaving. How would you have handled the repeated violations of bond of Daniel Riley differently?
That is something that I've actually never looked into in detail. So my knowledge of that is that of a citizen looking at it from the outside, because since I've been in this office, I really haven't had time to go back and do a play-by-play on things that occurred in the past. I will say this. I have emphasized with our assistant circuit attorneys that they need to really focus on monitoring what's going on with defendants who are on bond and taking appropriate action where that's necessary. So that's something that we as an office focus on and try to track closely. Also, of course, the bond is the court's bond, and the courts are also looking at that issue and looking at potential violations and making judgments about whether or not a bond needs to be revoked.
You mentioned today's testimony or strength coming back here. Do you think that testimony was key to
Absolutely. I mean, jurors always want to hear from the victim. She also had some, you know, relevant, I mean, her testimony went to the events of that evening and exactly what happened. So her testimony was powerful. She showed tremendous poise. I just could not be more impressed with her resilience and courage.
We know sentencing is set for next month. Is there any reaction from your office about the suggestion made by the jurors last night?
Our reaction is that the jurors did their work. They followed the law. They came back with their suggested sentencing, and now the next step in this process is for Judge Noble to do his work and impose a sentence. So we accept the judgment of the jurors, and we will accept the judgment of Judge Noble.
Anything else? Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you.